Security guide.
Growing up in Mentorship, I never envisioned a security career.
Is it?
My first day as a security officer, I replaced a guard or colleague that was stabbed. Somebody stole something from a shop in the mall, and we happened to sit by Milky Lane.
Yes.
I just heard everybody shouting, catch him, catch him. And I want you on my team, but you need to get the proper paperwork and the proper training to be able to work for me. Given me the opportunity to apply for a management position. And by that time, I told myself, I'm here to stay in the industry.
Welcome to the Security Guide podcast, where safety meets strategy. I'm your host, Rafee Moosagie, and each week we dive deep into the security matters, whether it's leadership, business, bringing on certain personnel. Today, I'm with no stranger, Waleed Davids. We're excited to have him. So, Waleed, thanks for coming in to the studio. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Basically, I'm Waleed Davids. I'm originally from an area called Mentorship out on the Cape Flats. By day, I'm a security officer. Instinct do kicks in even when I'm off duty.
Is it?
Even when I'm in malls or going out shopping, my wife would normally remind me when you get out of the vehicle, listen, you are not working today, you're off.
Off duty.
And the reason for that was one day somebody stole something from a shop in the mall, and we happened to sit by Milky Lane.
Yes.
I just heard everybody shouting, catch him, catch him. And I jumped up, and the guy ran straight to me, and I actually tackled him.
Sure.
And I handed him over to the mall security. And
Okay.
so that's why my wife will always remind me, look, you off today, you're not working. Growing up in Mentorship, I never envisioned a security career.
Is it?
My first day as a security officer, I replaced a guard or colleague that was stabbed at the Cape Town Stadium by the Wonderland Amusement Center. And he was stabbed by one of the street kids, very dangerous kids. And I had to go and work there.
Okay. So when you're not in uniform, what kind of person are you off duty?
I'm a family man. I like to spend time with my kids, my wife. I do like to engage in spiritual activity, dhikr,
It's very important.
programs. I just feel if you don't have that in your life, you will go astray. And
No, so tell us, how did you first get into the security? How did you first, what was your first encounter into the security field? Who introduced you?
I was actually introduced by my cousin, Riza Nazir.
Oh, Riza. Lovely character, guys. That's how me and you met. So carry on.
He showed me a lot of things. He taught me a lot of things. The one thing that I will never forget that he always will tell me is, if you sit anywhere, even if it's in a meeting, if you don't know what the people is talking about, make as if you know what they're talking about.
That's good advice.
And I'm still carrying it with me today. And that is how I got involved in the security industry. And I can say because of him, I am the type of person that I am today in the security industry.
Okay. So take us back to the sort of training that you had to get to be able to join the security industry back then, and what year was it?
The year Riza introduced me into security, he actually advised me, listen, I want you on my team, but you need to get the proper paperwork and the proper training to be able to work for me. And they set up a training course for me by Cosmopolitan out in Wynberg.
Wow, that's years ago, eh?
Yeah, I think that was 2000, 2001.
That was SOB time, eh?
Yes, those years they used to call the
security
now Sierra board, the SOB board.
security office board. Yeah, wow, things have changed, eh? So tell us, do you remember the first day on your job and what was it like?
The first day was quite dramatic. I was at the office doing standby duties because I was still new in the company, so I didn't have a permanent site. And the control room got a call to say one of the guards that was on duty was stabbed by one of the street kids out in Cape Town. And I was the person that they're going to use as a replacement. And I was quite nervous because I heard the guy got stabbed and it's quite dangerous to work on that facility. And Rita still told me, listen.
And this is day one.
This is day one.
Wow.
So he gave me a few tips and how to conduct myself. And he said, listen, you can do it. And the supervisor took me out and go and deploy me. And met with the client. And he gave me the do's and don'ts, job description of the site. And I filled the space of the guard that was taken to hospital.
Wow.
And some of the street kids came again and they tried to enter because they were not allowed to enter. And I had to use my initiative here now to keep them out of the shop. Because it was a game shop, it was an entertainment shop, so obviously they wanted to be inside.
And back then there wasn't that security PCR cards back then, like how they have it now, and inspectors that used to come around.
No. There was nothing like that. Nothing like that. I remember some companies still used the guards that was not even registered, or they used unregistered guards.
So back then, yeah, it wasn't so regulated. Like obviously,
and most companies will use the foreign internationals. They were actually good security officers, trustworthy officers.
But back then they were registering foreigners. I remember back then it was 2002 they stopped. That's when they changed over to from the SOB to PCRA. If I remember correctly.
You're
guys.
spot on. I can remember after that there were still people interested in the security industry from foreign countries, but unfortunately they couldn't be registered.
They changed over, yes.
But I'm telling you, trustworthy guys, people you can trust your life with, and reliable people.
So tell us, over the years, what has been the biggest challenge for you in the industry? Or your biggest challenge working on the field or management or, different institutions that comes to mind?
I think my biggest challenge would be getting people to understand you, getting people to know you, getting to get them the understanding of how you want things done in the workplace. And I think over the years, I got it right. One or two people will always challenge you, but
undermining you
and I think that is normal in any industry.
No, I mean, if you're just taking in a different aspect, it's like, what you're explaining to me now is that in the office place, when you upcoming, people undermine you or they block you, or they don't have best intentions for you, but that will define your character. If you push through that will actually make you a better person, a better leader, a better person for the organization, because you become more valuable.
100%. So if you don't have that self-motivation or telling yourself, listen, you need to find a better way how to go around this, because you are here to stay. If you want to make security your passion, you're gonna have to come with ways how to get people to know you, how to get people to understand you, and how to get things done.
So can you share a moment for us in your career that inspired you, that is funny, that something that the listeners will like to hear in the security field?
Oh, there's quite a number of stories.
Just take us one that sticks out to you with you.
At the time, I was working for security-wise services.
Mm-hmm.
They were based out in the Gudud area.
Okay.
And we used to employ a lot of foreign internationals.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, we could because
That was
the
allowed
regulation wasn't so strict.
then. Mm-hmm.
And the one officer came to me and said he would like to speak to me, and he wanted to know if he can only work night shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, I won't be able to make that call. I'm going to have to speak to the director. And I spoke to the director, and we came to an agreement because he wanted to study.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to study, and the director said, listen, please, Waleed, put him on a night shift roster. Put him on a quiet side where he can study, and where there's another person, if there's trouble, they can still back up each other. And those days there wasn't these patrol systems like there is now in today's time.
Wow, it's
So, and the crime wasn't so high as it is now. And
obviously.
this officer was studying, and he came to the office one day. After about 2 years, he came to the office, and he brought 4 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
4 tickets for a graduation, and he was graduating the following week. So he said, "This is for Mr. Davids and his wife. This is for Riza and his wife."
Wow.
And he wanted us to attend his graduation because he's graduating the following week as a lawyer.
Wow.
And that for me
That's
stood out,
inspiring.
and to be part of his journey, not knowing by rostering him on night shift so that he can uplift himself. And he's a lawyer today.
Wow. I mean, that just shows you that, doesn't mean you start in the security industry as a guard, that it's something that you should feel that it's a lesser job. It's not a means to an end. From there, it's a building block for your next stage in life. So I feel that, we need more people that can inspire us, that starts from humble beginnings and actually believe in a better future, a better society, a better South Africa, and they can put the effort in and energy in and work towards a better future for their family.
100%. People tend to take security as a Mickey Mouse job, but you can build yourself with a security officer.
I think one guy put it that they think security officers, this guy that's standing around a bonfire at night and just, with a tongfa and just walking around with no real skills.
Yes, those days are gone.
Those days are gone, yeah.
You stand with a long jacket by a fire,
Yes.
going home tomorrow morning with the train. The whole carriage is smelling of fire.
Yes.
Nobody wants to stand next to you.
Those days are gone, huh?
Security is more interactive now. It's more corporate and more informative.
And the amount of value and how booming the industry is now. I think I was at a seminar at one of the CIRAs. I think this was in 2018, and I was with the CEO, and he was giving a demonstration. I'm quoting. This was about 8 years ago, and he said that at that time there was about 500 or 560,000 registered security guards. So he said that if we have to just take it as that each one of them are earning about 8,000 Rand. And we work it out and they know that there's about another million that is not linked to CIRA. So he worked out to 1.6 million. So he said averagely we worked it out, it came to about 16 billion Rand a month that the security industry was actually pumping in. So we're looking at, that was 8 years ago. We still have to look at the maths. It could be an industry that's well over 200 billion per annum.
Possible.
So it is, I looked at the stats now. It was like over 2.5 million or between 2.2 to 2.7 million, somewhere around there, of trained security officers. That's more than the police, the military, law enforcement put together. So wow, it shows you how far we've come. So tell us, the other thing is, how did you transition from being a guard to a manager?
The company that I worked for at the time saw the potential in me. And they've given me the opportunity to apply for a management position. And by that time, I told myself, I'm here to stay in the industry. I know the ins and outs.
And how much years were you working at that time in the industry?
That time I was working for about six years.
6 years.
6
Okay.
years.
That's a lot. That's a long time.
So between the start and before they appointed me or approached me to become a manager, I moved through the ranks where I became a controller. They moved me up as an inspector, and now and then I will do some extra jobs for the manager to go and see a client if he's not available. But I was still a supervisor at the time, and that is how I gained some experience. So sometimes I would be a bit nervous to go and see this client because I don't know how to maybe to handle or to approach the situation that I'm going to meet the client for. And then I would phone like Riza, and he would like guide me and say to me, listen, this is how you do it. This is how you approach it. And then after the meeting, I will phone him. I'll tell him that is exactly how it happened. That man he just had a vast amount of experience in the security industry.
Wow.
He taught me a lot. Like I said earlier, he taught me a lot in the industry, and it's because of him that I am what I am today in this industry.
So currently now, how do you manage your teams that you are currently doing now and your day-to-day, getting to motivate your teams that you're currently busy with?
Like here at the company that I'm at now, we will have 2 times a month, we will have meetings. And we will motivate each other in the meetings. And there will become times where I join the inspector on his visits without him knowing. I will park off my car, tell him, listen, pick me up. Let's go for a few visits, or let's go to the mall, have a breakfast, have a lunch. Let me see where you're at. Have a general conversation. It's not always about work. If it's all about work, and you won't get to see what is bothering this person, what type of jokes can you make with this person.
It's about reading the situation, eh?
Yes.
So, but in this day and age, so what do you look in before you're hiring a guard? Like, what type of characteristic suits your type of leadership style?
Okay, firstly, I will see how you present yourself. Meaning, your dress code. Are you well shaven? Are you clean shaven? How you conduct yourself in the interview? How you answer your questions? And are you self-motivated? That type of thing.
So how do you keep your team motivated and when the morale is low and down? What do you turn to? Like, especially referring to your inspectors and your controllers and your guards.
Look, here we have an incentive initiative.
Okay.
Where we do it quarterly. And
that works.
That is how. Yes, it works. It works, and we will make it known to the rest of the team, who was the person who got this incentive this month or that quarter, just to inspire the rest of the company, to keep them always motivated to perform at the best of their ability.
No, that's good. And then tell me, with the caliber of security that's coming out now and the caliber of security that was out then, what changes have you seen over in the last decade or so? And obviously, keeping in mind, crime is obviously, well, I wouldn't say improved, but obviously it's got more. Statistics is crime is much more higher. So my question is then, how do you think the security guard adapted to the new environment now?
I take it from myself. Securities then was, I think they were more proactive than the ones that is now in the industry. Meaning, nowadays security guards don't want to use the initiative. Everything must be spoon-fed
By the managers or by the inspectors?
So that is why it's important for the company to have rules and regulations, code of conduct in place.
Mm-hmm.
So to make sure that the guard is compliant with what is required of him.
Now that makes a lot of sense. So what skills do you think is most important going forward for a security guard now for the future?
Refresher course is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Most companies don't do that because once the security guard is graded, and the guards just get left on site and they forget about the guard. But where I'm at now, we always select a group of 30 people to send them for upskilling, refresher training, and awareness programs, just to keep the ball rolling. Because we every day facing different challenges on different sites.
But what advice do you have for the young person thinking of coming into the security industry, and what sort of characteristics, knowing the dangers and that's in the industry, that can inspire them to start a career in the security industry?
Okay, I will say never think of security as if to feel ashamed of being a security officer. Security officer can establish you as a person. You can make a career out of it, like myself did. And to do the proper training, to upskill yourself, to make yourself aware what you're going to deal with. Because at the end of the day, it's a cruel world out there. But you can make a career out of it.
Now, lovely. In your final remarks, I mean, going back, speaking to your younger self, what advice would you tell yourself starting off this journey in the security industry?
I think not to be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to be when I came into the industry. I thought it was all about showing muscle, but it's actually using your initiative and how you conduct yourself.
Nice, man. And if you would describe security, the heart of security professional, in one word, what comes to mind?
Proactive.
Proactive. No, that's good, guys. Thanks, Waleed, for your time and efforts. And I just want to take a shout out to Mr. Davids. He has been over his 2 decades. He has been working apparently for like 3 companies. So it shows his stability. Always somebody that brings his A game, somebody that is, motivated. It's like what you walk the talk. You're not somebody that just says something and then you expect others to do. You lead by example, and that's why I thought it's befitting to get somebody that's actually in the front line and somebody that's actually knows what he is actually talking about and doing it on a day-to-day. And I wish you all the best, in your future in the security field, and long may it live. Anyways, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Moosagie. Thank you for having me.
No, it's been a pleasure, man. Hopefully we'll see you soon, guys. All right. Take care, guys. I'm out. See you. This is a Security Guide podcast, first episode.